I've done that before and had 5, 6, 7 introductions and 3 or 4 visitors out of it as well. In BNI, there are 3 types of referral giver. How many?
3.
No, that was crap. How many?
3.
That's better. The first one is the reactor. That means when somebody says to you, do you know a really good wedding photographer because I'm getting married next year? Ignore Grimlock. Do you know a really good wedding photographer? I'm getting married next year. I need a really good wedding photographer. And you can say, yeah, do you know what? Yeah, I think, Ray, definitely, Ray. Whereas a promoter would be, somebody says, I'm getting married next year. And you sit there and go, oh, have you got your photographer sorted? No, well then I can do a referral to Ray. That's a promoter. But a creator creates referrals from nothing. Creates referrals from thin air. So last week, Gail gave you some examples of how she creates referrals. Next week, Shoran is going to give you examples of how he creates referrals. Shoran did not volunteer for this. We threw him under the bus. So Shoran doesn't really know what's happening at this point. Hopefully, you'll get the gist of it from here, Shoran. So I'm going to give you 3 examples of how I create referrals from nothing. So, number 1, if somebody asks within BNI for a specific introduction, let's say Dave Bundy says, I'm looking for Bob Smith of Bob's Brewery. And most of you could be sat there thinking, well, I don't know Bob Smith, so I won't even write that name down. That's it, referral opportunity dead. But no, that's not what the creator does. The creator will say, well, I don't know Bob Smith, but I wonder if I know someone who does. And you can go onto LinkedIn, and you can type in Bob Smith, and see who's connected to Bob Smith. Now, a bad way to do this, and I've seen people in BNI do this, is to message Bob Smith directly and say, Bob, you don't know me, but I'd like to introduce you to Dave Bundy. That's not a cool way to do it. No, a cool way to do it is to see who do you know is connected with Bob Smith? Who do you know really well that's connected with Bob Smith? And I've done this myself, where I picked up the phone and said, and it was for Dave Bundy, Dave Bundy's looking to speak to a guy called Bob Smith. I believe you're connected with him. How well do you know him? I know him really well. I used to work with him. Fabulous. Do you think you could introduce me to him because I'm trying to get a referral for a mate of mine? And that really works because you're not asking for it for yourself. You're asking for it for someone else. And that shows you're the kind of person that does favors for other people. And that mate of yours will want to introduce you because they'll think, well, if he's doing that for someone else, he might want to do that for me as well. And that works as a creator tactic. So, number 2, let's say, sorry Grimlock, this is not your point, you're coming in later. Let's say you're having a conversation with a BNI member or another business owner outside of BNI. A question you could ask them would be, where do you get your referrals from? Who gives you business? Who gives you introductions? Now, I did this with Phil Littler not so long ago, a former member of this chapter. Who gives you introductions? Who gives you referrals? Who gives you business? And he said, well, at the moment, I'm getting a lot of business from letting agents because obviously they need handyman work. They need stuff doing on a regular basis. I think, well, we've got a few letting agent clients. So I spoke to one of my letting agent clients who I've known for many years, and I can have a frank and honest conversation with him and said, what's it like with trades at the moment? And you can imagine his response. Well, it's not that good, to be honest with you. A lot of them keep letting me down. Well, I've got a mate of mine who's a handyman. He's done work for me. He's really good. Do you ever need a handyman where you are right now? I do, actually. Yeah, we are looking for really good handymen. And I created that referral and introduced it to Phil Littler. So now he is able to pass referrals to Phil on a regular basis because that's exactly what Phil does. That's strategy number 2. Number 3, and I love this one because this also works to get visitors. This is one of my visitor inviter tactics. Let's say you have a member in a chapter who's always asking for a specific type of business. Ollie, for example, might be asking for emergency plumbers. Let's see. Where is he? Shoran might be asking for mortgage brokers. Go onto your social media of your choice. Could be a local Facebook group. Could be your LinkedIn. And put a post, something along the lines of recommendation request. Can you recommend a really good emergency plumber? Ideally, someone that you've used yourself, someone that you've got experience of. Facebook will turn that into a recommendation request post. You will get so many people commenting and tagging in emergency plumbers. or tagging in mortgage brokers, or tagging in estate agents, whatever you're asking for. But more than that, you'll get them coming to you directly. They will reach out to you, which makes your job of having the conversation with them so much easier. And all you've done is write one post. I've done that before and had 5, 6, 7 introductions and 3 or 4 visitors out of it as well. So those are 3 tactics you can use to create referrals from nothing. Have a go at one of them and you'll pass more referrals. And let me know how you get on. Thank you.